Hello everybody, so it's time for another Team Fortress, and as usual we just have like the guideline rules, basically the way I point stuff on the screen. And remember, if you want to do a submission of your own, there's a link to my Discord in the description below. You just join up there, then you go to the Team Fortress channel, just make a submission there, and that's all you need to do. I'll save it to my folder if I like it, and then it's likely to be shown in an episode eventually. So for our first submission here, we have what seems to be a lumberjack or somebody who have been out chopping wood in the winter to light his fireplace because it's clearly cold outside. You can see it's snowing above his head, and he needs to have some warmth. Now, the only issue with this loadout is that he doesn't have a fire axe or any axe at all. Like, any axe would have done it. That would have given this loadout 10 points. Since that's not the case, I'll have to give it 9 points. Just, the weapons isn't fitting. Like, a bare hand doesn't really fit with chopping down wood, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But other than that, it's a very nice loadout. My guess for the team on this one is that he's holding a snowball launcher. He just loads it with snow and then it shoots out snowball. And I'll give it 9 points. It's pretty close to getting 10 points, but the thing is, like, maybe an 8 launcher skin that would fit in with like the snowball kind of theme, or if it had the color matching with the headwear that is painted, or maybe a bit of team coloring. It just lacks that little thing. Like maybe a Swiss Miss sweater warp. I don't know. I'm just suggesting stuff here, but other than that, it could have been slapped into loadout.tf, added cool to the nade launcher, maybe frostbite or blizzardy storm on the headwear, and then it will also get 10 points. But it's still getting 9 points. It's still a very nice loadout, so I'll give it that. This is a personal loadout, is what I'm guessing, at least. Like, that's why I'm putting a question mark. It looks very much like a personal loadout in that I don't really see a synergy in that sense. Other than that, it would be a flame deer, but then what is a flame deer? Is that even a theme? I'm not sure. Still a nice loadout, like, gotta give it props for that, but I just don't really see the theme, and it looks very much like it's just a personal loadout. So gotta give it a question mark in total points, because I'm not sure what to give it. My guess for this loadout theme is that it's supposed to be a sort of undead skeleton, maybe a ghoulish zombie, It's getting 10 points. Just straight out 10 points. It's so good. It even had the sense of detail of the weapons all fitting. Like, there's a arrow in the shield resulting in, that have been combat. He probably died there. You have a Dead Reckoner nade launcher, which fits in with the whole undead thing. You even have an unusual headless horseman's head take. I guess that's kind of a rule stretch there. I'm not counting it as an unusual, but if we do the math on it, it would get 9 points. But it's definitely getting that bonus point. It definitely deserves it, and it's such a nice loadout. So, very nice. It may even only get 8, depending on how you stretch the guidelines I have. But you know what? Screw it. You want 2 bonus points. You can't get it, but here you go. 10. Just 10. It's so good. My guess on the theme for this one is basically very New Year's. Like New Year's party. He's drunk. There's fireworks. Probably also got this submitted before the New Year, so I should probably have done that around, December. I don't know. Still a very, very nice loadout. It gets 10 points even without the bonus point, because everything is like covered on it, and it's just a very nice loadout overall. I had 2 ideas for this one that I thought would be the theme. One is a mafia, the other is a director. But if it's a director, he wouldn't be holding the Tomisol. He would be doing the taunt, the director's vision, and then it would be fairly obvious. So I'm going with the mafia, and like it kind of needs either an unusual or some color matching. Like, it have the green tie, but nothing else is green on the loadout. It doesn't have a skin that really fits. So no, I'll just give it 8 points for the whole mafia thing it got going on. No bonus, no unusual, no paint matching points. So other than that, it's still very nice. It have the potential for sure. My initial guess would be that this is supposed to be a personal loadout, but then I think I recall seeing something maybe from some movie. I'm not sure if it was Star Wars, maybe another movie, but I do recall seeing something that looks very similar to this. So I'm not sure if it actually is a personal loadout, so that's why I'm putting in the troll loadout category, because there's some familiarity to it, and it likely could be that it isn't a personal loadout. And in case it isn't, and I don't know the theme, then it goes to the troll loadout, which it gets 11 points for, because it qualifies completely for that. So very nice loadout regardless, and there's probably somebody in the comments telling me exactly who this is and from what movie, and you know, shame on me, but it's getting the 11 max troll points that it can get. My guess on this one is that it's a biker. He ran a bit low on gas, he stopped at the gas station, he got some, you know, fuel for his bike, and bought a bar of chocolate. And giving it 8 points, it's a pretty nice loadout. Like, could use a bit of something to actually get the max, like paint, maybe an unusual effect. But it's still a very nice loadout, and I don't know what other weapon would actually fit well other than the local spar. And then I was like, oh, you know what, that does make sense. If he stops to get some gas, then of course he's gonna buy a chocolate bar, right? That makes sense. So this one is actually a bit interesting, because my guess would be that it's some sort of special enforce unit, maybe, you know, military-like, maybe it's special agent or something. Anyways, the weapon he's holding is some kind of prototype, probably, that shoots something that's very hot. That's why it's, you know, basically on fire. And the way this one gets 10 points is a bit interesting, because it had the paint color matching kind of thing, or just, you know, paint on the weapon, right? And then it had the unusual effect on the weapon, which in that sense secures it 2 points there that it would probably lag out if it just used a normal iron bomber. So, you know, overall this is actually a pretty nice loadout. It also looks pretty decent. So, I'll give him that. It's probably a personal loadout though, but hey, it's still nice. My guess on this one theme is that it's either some sort of royal guard or somebody who was set to guard something. And for some reason, he was so committed to that he got risen from the dead, or arose from the dead, and you know, just to protect it. Even got, like, you can see souls flying around him, and overall it looks pretty nice, you know. It has some kind of synergy, it actually looks good, and you know, I think I should probably give it 9 points, but I'm giving it that bonus because it's so out there, it's so unique, we haven't seen anything like it, so I'm definitely giving it the bonus point. This one is actually quite simple in its design, and then it have the out-of-the-box thinking of using the soldier weapon as like the pickaxe. It's clearly supposed to be a miner. It have like an unusual effect to symbolize that there's light in the mining light, or the robo mining light, I believe that is. And even have a backpack because, you know, he's probably underground, or maybe his gear, maybe there's some dynamite in there. And then he's got some tools in the front as well. You know, it's just very simple, nice looking loadout, and I'm gonna give it 10 points because it also have the out of the box thinking used, and you know, it's just nice. Just quickly gonna do the three. The first one is some sort of plague doctor, the middle one is a moon man, the last one is a cardboard box soldier, or you know, cardboard box warrior, who knows. The issue with the first one though is that the mask style is inverted, which just kind of ruined the whole color scheme of the loadout and makes it not look that nice, and the freedom staff doesn't fit either. It's just like, it could have been so good, but then no, it's not really worth. Like, I would usually scrap one of these if it were alone, but I figured, you know what, every one of these do something right, but then they mess something else up. The middle one, like, it looks very nice and all, but the issue is that it's all cluttered in the face. Maybe even being cheeky and thinking out of the box and adding a fourth cosmetic slot, you know, as long as you don't overdo it, you can do that when you do load out the TF stuff. And the last one is using an already existing set and then just upgrading it, where, you know, it's done right, but it's just, it kind of lacks more. So on their own, I would just scrap them, but I figured why not show them, because they are still nice loadouts, it's just they are messing some things up that just kind of ruins the whole thing. So for our last submission, I'd say this is probably, you know, a British style, but like old American, when all of the laws or whatever it was got founded, and then, you know, the dead presidents is pretty well fitting for this as well, and all the items goes well together with the time period and like the theme in that sense, and like the hornblower is even painted orange to match the stick on the head. So all in all, I think this is worthy of getting 10 points, and overall it does look like a pretty, back in the days, this is like 1800s or around that time period, I don't know. In any case, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll see you again next time.